Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to our channel. And if you're new here, please click that like and subscribe button and welcome. Also, hit that bell notification. This way you get notified every time I upload a video. Now, I might be asking, hey Dr. Harley, what's that on your neck right here? Well, I invested some more money into this channel and I bought some Rode wireless microphones. This way I'm trying to make the videos and the audio and everything better. I'm working on different things. So without further ado, let's roll my new intro. All right, today's video is all about bleeding your brakes. Hope everybody liked the new intro. I'm working on different things. I'm trying different things with editing and just trying to make it more enjoyable for everybody. So without further ado, we're going to dig right into this and go right into bleeding the rear brakes, the hydraulic clutch, and your front brakes. And you ask me, hey, why is that important? I never do that on my car. Well, technically you should, because brake fluid by nature is hygroscopic. And what does that mean? That means it attracts moisture. Now, with the change in temperatures and condensation, with high humidities, low humidities, coming from a warm climate to a cold climate, or from a hot climate to a cooler climate, condensation is going to start to build, not only within your motor. I know I talked about that, getting your bike ready for spring, but also you got to worry about that with your brake fluid too. And Harley Davidson recommends that you flush your brake fluid every 2 years. And that's so you keep all your brake components working as they should with the proper pressures and everything, and they will not start to rust from the inside out. So if you're wondering, hey, well then how do I bleed my rear brakes? We'll get right to that. Let me reposition the camera. Okay, now that the camera's repositioned, what we have is our rear brake master cylinder right here, right behind your rear brake pedal. So what you want to do is wipe that off with a clean rag, because you don't want to get anything inside there that could cause any harm to your seals, that would, cause your fluid to bypass. So I have a ratcheting screwdriver. It makes life a lot easier when doing these things. I always start with the outside, then I go to the inside, and you're like, well, hey doc, what if I don't do this every 2 years? Well, you know what? A lot of people don't. I've been on a ride with somebody who lost their brakes because they never flushed out their fluid. Yes. So we had to sit there and go through and flush his fluid. All right, let me reposition the, well, actually, before we do that, let me get my brake fluid tester. Now what this does, it will test the amount of moisture within the brake fluid. So if you could see that, it's all the way up in the red. See that? It's all the way up in the red. That means it has greater than 4% of moisture within the brake fluid. Now, just for fun, we're going to test it when we're done with the new brake fluid. And this way you could see that, when I'm preaching, it's not a gimmick or a joke. That's actually legit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to suck out all the brake fluid as I can. I have a turkey baster. It's one I bought. It's pretty inexpensive. And I lost the top. Oops. I do not recommend going to your wife or your mom and saying, hey, give me that turkey baster. I'll give it back when I'm done. Yeah, that won't work. Because once you use it on your brake fluid, you're pretty much done with, it's pretty much used for that from now on. You never want to mix your fluids. I have a turkey baster for the .3, .4. And I have a turkey baster for the .5. Now, what's the difference? Good question. .5 is a synthetic brake fluid that you want to use when called for. This is a 2015, so it's a .4 brake fluid. Now I take a clean, and I mean clean paper towel, that's brand new, and I go in there and I wipe out as much of the gunk and brake fluid inside the master cylinder. Also, I like to wipe down the glass. Now we're going to take a fresh thing of brake fluid here, .4. I buy it in bulk because I do use a lot of it, and I'm going to fill it back up. All right, and you can say, well, we're done, right? No, we're not done. We still have to bleed the rear brakes. So I'll reposition the camera. I'm going to show you how we do it. Okay, the camera's repositioned. You have a bleeder screw right up here. It's right behind the shock, and use a 3/8 box wrench. And what I always like to do is I like to crack it open first before I do anything. This way I'm not finding it the first time I go to bleed it. Now, what do I do to bleed it? Well, I put a paper towel over it. I will push on the brake fluid, on brake pedal, I'm sorry, open the bleeder, push the brake pedal all the way to the floor, tighten it back up, and then release. And by doing that, what I'm doing is I'm pushing the fresh fluid to the caliper and not bringing any of that old fluid from the caliper back to mixing in with the new. So we're going to push down and open and close it and release. We're going to do this 4 or 5 times. So there's 2. So we're going to push, crack, tighten, release. It's not that hard. And now we're going to crack, push, release, and we're going to do this one more time. And then the back brakes are going to be done. And then what we'll do is we're going to test the moisture content within the brake fluid now. All right, last time. We're going to push, crack it open, let it bottom out, tighten it up, and release. And the trick is to make sure you tighten up that bleeder screw before you release. This way you don't pull any air into the system. And that's something you don't want to do, because if you put air into your brake system, your brakes won't work. Your pedal will feel spongy or anything like that. Okay, that brake pedal feels really, really good. And so let's reposition the camera back over to the master cylinder, and we're going to test it. Okay, so we're back at the master cylinder. I got the tester on. We're going to stick it in there, and it's staying green at the lowest level. It's not going anywhere, and how I can tell is the light is going to time out and turn off on its own. There you have it, just turned off. We have 0% moisture, which we should, in our master cylinder for the rear brakes. So after bleeding it, I'm just going to top it off a little bit. Not a lot of brake fluid goes in these things. Put the cap back on. All right, now we're just going to tighten up the screws. So, hey guys, if you have any questions, ask me in the comments down below. I always get back and respond to every comment that is left for me. So if there's something you want to see, or I'm actually going to get a shorter screwdriver here. If there's something you want to see, or you want me to do something different, let me know. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. You guys are the boss of this channel, not me. I'll produce the content. You guys just tell me what do you want to see as far as the content goes. And I'll do it if I can. My next video after this one, I'll be doing a Legend suspension front and rear on another Street Glide. So, you know, it's going to be something exciting to see, because I'm going to show you how to, remove the forks from your bike and how to, take them apart, remove the old stuff and put the new stuff in. And I'm not going to get any more into that from here. So let's get the camera repositioned and we'll move on to the clutch. All right, now we're moving on to the cover. We got to remove the cover for the bleeder screw for our clutch. This is a hydraulic clutch. So it's behind this cover on your transmission. With the stock exhaust, it's a little bit harder to get this cover off, but it can be done just like that. And our bleeder screw is right here with the green cap. So what you want to do is remove the cap, of course, and now we got to get, looks like a 1/4-inch wrench. So I'm going to grab that, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to crack it open, make sure it cracks open, and it does. Now there's a tool I'm going to use, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to suck all the fluid out from the clutch, and then I'm going to put in some fresh fluid and suck that out, or suck it through, flush it, and then I'm going to show you how we bleed it from the top. So stand by. This is going to be exciting stuff. All right, just like the rear brake master cylinder, for the clutch master cylinders, I got the top off of it. And I hooked up my vacuum bleeder. It's a vacuum pump. It also could be used for bleeding brakes. It's got a little plastic catch can on the bottom, so it's going to collect all of our brake fluid. And what I'm going to do here, this is a little bit neater of a process, is I'm going to crack open the bleeder and I'm going to just start pumping. And when then I hear the air coming out from the top of the clutch master, I'm going to close it, and then we're going to go from there. So as you can see in here how nasty that clutch fluid is, and there it is off the top. You can hear it. It's getting all that nasty brake fluid out of the hydraulic clutch. So now I'm going to close this, take this off. That's some nasty fluid, I tell you. And I mean, look at that. That's just nasty. That's supposed to be brake fluid. It's supposed to be clear. Let's see where we are with the moisture content in it. I went over to his house. This is a good friend of mine. He's like a brother to me. I love him to death. I went over to his house because he had no clutch. So I didn't have everything I need, but what we did is we just pulled out the old brake fluid out of the clutch and put it new in the master. And okay, it's at less than 1% of moisture. So that's actually pretty good. But I know the history of this because I went and helped them out. And I have to replace this fluid. I mean, I just can't let it sit here. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to lower the lift and get up top and bleed out the, finish bleeding out this system, putting fresh brake fluid in. And I'll show you how that's done. So hang on. Okay, yeah, I got the lift down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting the brake fluid in the clutch master. Now, I didn't put the side cover back on because sometimes you do have to vacuum bleed the fresh fluid through. And I call that vacuum bleeding because what you're doing is you're vacuuming the fluid out. But I'm looking up in here, and there's still a lot of brake fluid up here. I don't want to cross-contaminate the old brake fluid, which isn't that old, with fresh new brake fluid. Because I want this hydraulic clutch to operate at its best functioning. and I don't like cross-contamination. Do the job right, or basically don't do it at all. That's my opinion. So it's all cleaned out in there. There's no more brake fluid. So we got some fresh brake fluid in there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pump slowly the hydraulic clutch lever. And what that'll do, it will push the brake fluid all the way through down to the slave cylinder on the side of the transmission, because air bubbles will always go up, never down. So, and that's how I bleed out a clutch. Now, when bleeding out brakes, you know, the older brake systems with .5, the lever and brake pedal always seemed to be a little soft, even after you've replaced the brake fluid and bled them out and bled them out and bled them out, and you know for a fact you got all that fluid in there and all the air out, but you can never get that brake pedal or lever to feel the same. Well, there's a secret to it, and it's a trade secret. And if you guys promise, I mean promise me, you don't tell anybody, you'll keep this between us. Here's the secret, guys. What I do is I leave the cap off, put a rag over the top to collect the moisture. I take a zip tie and I go like this to the brake lever with the zip tie and let it sit overnight. And that works every piece of air bubble out. This way, the next day, when you come out and you put the cap on it, you grab that front brake, it actually will feel like it's like a newer brake system. So, which is a lot better than having a spongy brake. All right, I'm going to have to suck some fluid out through here. So I'm going to leave the camera right where it is, and I'm going to go over there and pull some fluid through, because I want to get this done. I know you guys want to see it done. I hope you guys liked the video that went live today, Sunday. It was all about putting handlebars on a 13 Road Glide. Well, I wasn't so happy with the video myself, but with the quality of it, I apologize for the bad quality of it. So, like I said, I'm investing more and more into this channel so we can have more and more better content. All right, let's see how that is now. It's getting there. It's getting there. All right, guys, let me turn this camera here. Hey, there I am. So, guys, if you like this video and you'd like to see more content like this, please give me a like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell notification down on the bottom. All right, everybody, that's it for today. It's the same process for the front brakes. So I'm not going to bore you. I'm not going to make this video too long. So until the next one, live the best life you can, ride often, and ride hard.